Hello and welcome to UWA Wrestling Rampage, bringing you the best of British wrestling today. Thank you for joining us in this, our inaugural broadcast. In today's action-packed hour, we'll see Jason Cross take on Tiger Mask for the vacant MPW British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight Championship. The mighty Papa T will be in action. We'll hear from UWA Chairman Mick McManus, and rookie sensation Paul Sloan locks up with the high-flying wonder kid, Johnny Storm. Paul Sloan, of course, has trained extensively with Phil Powers, one of the most successful athletes in the UWA today. And it's with Phil Powers that we begin, as we find the technical skill of Flying Phil Powers being pitted against the pure brute strength of Mad Dog McPhee. Mad Dog is part of a growing group of wrestlers who have signed up with controversial manager Steve Linsky, who would like nothing more than to see Phil Powers hurt and maimed, or at the very least, pinned for a 3 count. Both athletes will be feeling the pressure as they enter the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena for the first British wrestling match to be nationally televised for over a decade. 1,500 screaming fans are on hand to witness this matchup, and for Flying Phil, it's the crowd that make it all worthwhile. Phil Powers is one of the most exciting, crowd-pleasing athletes in the UWA today. But behind the scenes, he's also an inspiration and mentor to many of the UWA's rising stars, spending hours in the gym training up-and-coming athletes.
Come on, support your neck. Come on, keep that bridge on. Come on, support your neck.
Manager Steve Linsky is an opportunist.
I have something to say, and it will be said.
In Epping in October of last year, Linsky gate-crashed a Phil Powers interview to set up an impromptu match between Powers and the anarchist Doug Williams. The brutal contest could have gone either way, and many believe it was Linsky's interference that actually helped Phil to victory. Doug and Linsky patched things up, but the flamboyant American still has an axe to grind with Phil Powers, and this time he's unleashing the Mad Dog.
Phil Powers, you've been a thorn in my side for so many years, but tonight it's going to be taken care of. And who better to take care of it than the Mad Dog?
Powers has already felt the bite of Mad Dog, powerbombed on the 24th floor of Canary Wharf during the taping of Live TV's Catfight, which on this occasion should have been renamed Dogfight. Does Phil have what it takes to muzzle the Mad Dog?
Phil, tonight you're going to find out that not everything your wife tells you is the truth. Size really does matter.
Strong words there from Mad Dog and Steve Linsky, speaking earlier to the lovely Jamila. Jamila will be bringing us more news from the locker rooms later in the hour, but for now, the time for talk is over as we head down to ringside, where your commentators are Steve Morgan and Ross the Boss Gordon.
Coming to the ring first and wrestling out of Corby in Northants is a man known within the wrestling world for his canine-like instincts and a passion for freshly slaughtered livestock. Just released from quarantine, having had his rabies inoculation, he stands 6'3" and weighs in at a staggering 256 pounds. The man whose bite is as bad as his bark, Mad Dog McPhee.
This is where it all begins, fans. This is where the hype will be answered as we head to ringside for a great match. I'm Ross the Boss Gordon, alongside me, Steve Morgan. Steve, are you excited about this match?
I am excited, Ross, and I'll even be more excited once I can see Mad Dog. Is he there? Is he there? I don't know. I think we could just make out
sure
Steve
he's here.
Linsky and Mad Dog McPhee there. But I've got one word for you, Ross. I've got one word: justice. Justice. This is where a score is settled here this evening. Steve Linsky, their superb manager, close personal friend, everything else. Tonight, the interfering Flying Phil Powers is put to rest.
I'm not quite sure how you can call Phil Powers interfering, as I remember going back to the video montage we saw from Judgment Night, it was Steve Linsky who interfered in the match.
No, I have to call you to task there. No, I think it was set out quite clearly there, and as Steve Linsky said, he was a thorn in his side. Well, not tonight, he won't be. Look at that, that's lovely to see him engaging in a bit of banter there. It's lovely, he's a people's person.
And his opponent from Dagenham in Essex, he comes to the ring sporting a reputation for outrageous aerial maneuvers. At 5'10", he packs in a high-flying 195 pounds. The UWA's Mr. Nice, Flying Phil Powers!
Well, I'll make no secret of the fact I'm a big fan of this man and a very good friend. This man's technical ability is unmatched. This man's area ability is unmatched. This is flying Phil Powers, and I'm sure he's going to get the job done tonight against big Mad Dog McPhee.
Ross, I'm glad that you're a friend of Phil Powers, because let me tell you, Powers, you're going to need all the friends you've got, baby. Once you go up there, up against Mad Dog McPhee, you should have stayed at home.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this match tonight, I'm sure it's going to provide the fans with some great action. Look at the fans there. They're cheering in appreciation for this great event and kicking off with this great match. It's going to be a great match, some great brawling.
Yeah, once we get a match, someone should tell this fella to stop mincing about us by the ring. Get in there and get stuck in.
Well, Phil Powers, very acrobatic in his Arab Spring entrance into the squared circle. Look at the fans love this man.
Well, he should put a rest to this. This is just nonsense. It's trying to be everybody's friends. Get in there and get fighting, just like Mad Dog McPhee.
Mad Dog takes the match straight to Phil Powers before the bell has even rung, and look at those knees going into Phil Powers' ribs. That's gotta hurt, Steve.
You bet. That's why I'm sat here with you and not in the ring.
But Steve, look at Phil, he's coming back now with some kicks in the midsection
Mad
and
Dog's
some
just
chops.
saying, come on, give me what you got, give me what you got.
Off the ropes
and it's
by
not
Mad
much.
Dog. And Phil comes back with a great back elbow that downs the big man, and he comes back with a great drop kick. But look at that, Steve.
It wasn't so great, was it? It wasn't
didn't
so
even
great.
faze the big man. And now an Irish whip. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Now we see the Mad Dog. This is what we want, wrestling. Instead of running around the ring, jumping up all over the ropes and waving to people with your grandma in the 33rd row and all that nonsense. He's there to wrestle,
That's
just like Mad Dog.
That's extremely true, Steve. You know, we've said how great a brawler, and look at the power of Mad Dog. We've maybe forgotten a bit about his actual technical ability. He is also very technically sound. Not as technically sound as Phil Powers, but he does possess that ability as he sets up for a big suplex. Did you hear that crashing down on the canvas?
I did, and so did Steve Linsky there. He's clapping and applauding his man there, Mad Dog McPhee.
But Phil comes back yet again, Steve. A kick to the midsection, off the ropes once again, and a snapping neck breaker. That's gonna hurt, and Steve Linsky looks on from ringside. He can't be happy at this.
Well, Steve Linsky, he doesn't give a lot away. Ross, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. There he is now. He's just a few words of encouragement.
And this is what Phil Powers does best. Look here, Phil on the top rope. What's he gonna hit? He hits a big drop kick. There is the reason that Phil Powers is called Flying Phil Powers.
Well, let's take another look at that, because, as you say, he's known as Flying Phil Powers, but it's going to take a lot of flying and Steve, a lot more of that sort of thing to put paid to a big man like Mad Dog.
You may not be Phil Powers' biggest fan, Steve, but you must respect that man's ability as he sends Mad Dog into the corner.
I could do that. Anyone can stand on the ring and jump off it.
Phil sets up for a beautiful double underhook there and has a big suplex.
Now, I may not be able to do that.
I somehow doubt that you have the same ability of these great athletes. These are trained athletes. They work harder than any other athlete.
You just see there how Phil Powers lets his concentration wander. He's there to wrestle. Powers, you're there to wrestle. Do I need to remind you? He was there talking to Linsky, abusing a great man, a great manager, and then Mad Dog could just come in and flip him over.
Well, I don't know how great really Steve Linsky is, but look, it's Powers with the advantage now as he sends Mad Dog into the corner and hits Rolling Thunder. A great clubbing blow into the midsection following a somersault. A snapmare there, and now Phil Powers has the advantage.
What was that? What was that?
That's a
very illegal to me.
That's a patented British move used by many British wrestlers. It's a football kick into the kidney areas, and
Mad Dog did superbly there, moving out the way, and Powers flat on his back. Superb stuff there by Mad Dog.
But Phil Powers is going to spot back as 1, 2, 3, yes! Phil Powers gets the victory. He got the 1, he got the 2, and he made Mad Dog look at the lights for the decisive 3 count, and he has got the victory in the inaugural match at the UWA.
Well, I've always said, Ross, you need luck in this game, and I tell you, Powers has had more than his fair share of luck in that match.
I wouldn't call it luck, I would call it great skill. That great athlete there. However, saying how great Phil Powers is, please do not forget Mad Dog is a great athlete as well. He put up a great fight and a great contest. And now we're going to head backstage to look at the beautiful Jamila interviewing Phil's protege, Hog Slow.
Have you seen your mentor, Phil Powers, bit Mad Dog? What influence has he had on your fight?
Well, the result, he's beat the Mad Dog. He did really well, went out there, give it his best, he's won. Hopefully, after he taught me, I can go out there and win today and do my best.
A happy Paul Sloan there, supporting his mentor, Phil Powers. Later on, we'll see how Paul Sloan himself gets on against Johnny Storm, who is yet another athlete rumoured to have signed up to wrestle under the Steve Linsky banner. Plus, Tiger Mask and Jason Cross battle for the vacant MPW British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight title. The Tiny Girls will be here along with the awesome Death Squad. Papa T takes a short stroll around the ring, but up next we hear from UWA chairman Mick McManus.
My word is law.
Welcome back to UWA Rampage. In a moment, we'll see the Death Squad take on Too Far Gone in tag team action. But right now, it's time to get back to the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena, where earlier on, fans had the opportunity to see and hear a living legend.
Please give a huge wrestling welcome to Mr. Mick McManus.
And here we have the legendary Mick McManus coming out with some UWA officials, and what an ovation he's getting, Steve.
Godlike, Ross, godlike.
Would you like to say hello to all your adoring fans?
Good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Nice to see some of the old faces I used to know many years ago. Lovely to see you all again. I hope you're going to have a good evening's entertainment. I'm sure you are.
You're the UWA chairman. Could you just explain to everybody briefly what your role is?
Anyone's got any moans, they come to me. If the wrestler's got a disagreement with somebody, if the promoters have got a disagreement, then I sort of try to resolve the situation. And whatever I say, that goes. My word is law.
Mick McManus is law. Ladies and gentlemen, please, will you give it up for Mr. Mick McManus?
They're going to see some very exciting matches. They're going to see some completely new faces, obviously. And I think there's going to be some exciting bouts. The whole production, if you like, is going to be vastly different to the old days. And in effect, it's a whole new ball game. Well, I understand there's a whole new bunch of fellows, youngish fellows, big guys, some that's not so big. Good athletes, fellows that can move around a bit, you know, very mobile. Wrestling hasn't changed really over the years. You can go back to the old Greek days, you know, and Roman days. It really hasn't changed. The basics don't change at all. Just gets a bit flamboyant, if you like, or whatever. But the basics never change in wrestling at all.
Mick McManus, the no-nonsense UWA chairman. One of Mr. McManus's first official acts has been to determine which athletes will get a chance to compete in the 10-man winner-stays-on tournament for the UWA television title. We'll give you the full list of competitors later on, but right now we're going back to ringside for tag team action as Too Far Gone face the terrifying Death Squad.
Individually, they are Steve Morocco and Paul Tyrrell. Together, they are Too Far Gone.
Here we have a great team, Steve, a great technical team in Too Far Gone. It's Steve Morocco and Paul Tyrrell, and I'm looking really forward to them taking on the Death Squad tonight. What about yourself?
It's going to be a great match. They look like the crazy twins, the pair of them, but they're giving away a lot in the size department compared to the Death Squad.
Well, that's where their technical ability, I think, is going to come into play. The Death Squad, they're big power guys. They work in the power sort of maneuvers, double teams. However, these guys, I'm sure, will be able to take the big guys down onto the mat, where size really doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
I'm as sure as I've ever been. If you take a big wrestler down onto the mat, you take away his height, you take away his power, and you start working on the wrestling ability, which of course all British wrestlers are great at.
Their opponents in this match combine 6'5", 265 pounds of Mad Mark Myers with a 250-pound Man of Steel, from the city of Steel Iron, Duke Lynch. They are accompanied to the ring by the Tiny Girls and carry the reputation of the most destructive tag team in the world today, with a combined weight of an incomprehensible 515 pounds. Prepare yourselves for the Death Squad.
Look at the size of those guys.
I'm looking at the Tiny Girls, actually. They're the ones that are taking up my attention. Look at them, gorgeous, lovely. More of that, please.
Beautiful as ever, but the match is what counts here in the UWA. The Death Squad, they are gargantuans.
But they certainly are big lads, and a couple of lovely ladies there as well. And certainly make anyone glad to get into the ring.
I think we're going to see a great contest here as power meets skill.
Power, you got it right. There's the Iron Duke. He looks hungry. And the hammer mark there. Mark Myers, the great wrestler.
But Too Far Gone don't look intimidated there. They look as if they're ready for the challenge as the Tiny Girls get up on the ring apron. And listen to the ovation the fans are giving these guys. They really appreciate what a show they're going to see.
Isn't that good of the Tiny Girls there, just to make the ring entrance even more easier than the Death Squad.
And the Death Squad return the compliments to the beautiful Tiny Girls. And beautiful they are.
Well, let's hope the match can live up to the hype, because it's been the longest ring entrance I've ever seen.
Well, certainly, I think the analogy of beauties and the beasts wouldn't be too far away.
I bet you wouldn't say that to their faces, though.
Don't think you'd catch me saying that, no.
I didn't think I would, yeah, you're all talk.
Well, that's my job. I'm here to call the action as I see it. And as I see it, these two men are monsters.
Well, monsters they may be, but superb wrestlers and lovely gentlemen as well. Look at that, the Tiny Girls just whispering something into each of their ears, so I'll let you ponder what that may be. Good Lord.
Well, here we are. We've driven a long way from Sheffield tonight, and we're here to teach the Southern boys how to wrestle. Well, enough said. You'll have to excuse me, but it's time to go to work.
Well, if anyone can talk the talk and walk the walk, it's the Hammer, Mark Myers, and the Iron, Duke Lynch.
Will the boys from Sheffield give us the full Monty tonight, though, Ross? That's the question.
The referee calls Steve Morocco and Duke Lynch into the centre of the ring to commence wrestling. The bell has gone, and I think we're about to see a great contest here once again. Both men lock up, and look at the power there. Steve Morocco is the stronger of Too Far Gone, but he was unfortunately no match for the big Iron Duke. It's Paul Terrell's turn to try and take it to Duke Lynch. Again.
Just cast him aside there like a piece of paper.
Paul Terrell off the ropes, great speed, great agility, and what do we have here? It's an enziguri kick. Ooh. A double drop kick there from Too Far Gone, downs the monster. But
oh, they've angered him, they've angered the Duke, and Hammer Mark is in as well. He really shouldn't do that. There they are, one of the Tiny Girls there, giving him a bit of a spanking. Get back in there, they're saying. Hammer Mark there, he loves it now.
The crowd really showing who they're supporting. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Man Mark hits a drop, a leg drop there, across the throat of Steve Morocco. Sends Steve Morocco off the ropes and hits a big clothesline.
What Too Far Gone have got to remember is that up against the Death Squad, it's like a hornet's nest, and they've poked about at it, and now the hornets are angry.
Well, I think an analogy I could use was if to take on the Death Squad is like Steve Morocco and Paul Terrell getting in a car and heading towards a brick wall head on.
Absolutely. But they seem to have the better of Hammer Mark here.
Paul Terrell off the ropes, kips over. Oh! That comes straight down on the back of Mark. And what do we have? A great double team maneuver. This is what tag team action is all about.
Oh, that's going to bring tears to your eyes.
Goes for the cover here. The referee slow to get down onto the mat because the Iron Duke came in. Iron Duke, a big scoop slam. Oh, what's that? That's an illegal maneuver, Steve. That's illegal.
It's known as the tearjerker, and the tears will be streaming down his face right now.
The referee is quick to make sure that hold is broken.
That's right, Duke. You tell him, Duke.
And this, you know what this is, Steve? This is it. This is these guys' finishing maneuver. It's a Sheffield Hammer. What a maneuver. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
They've done
all over. That was an awesome looking maneuver there.
Oh,
but the match is over.
In there. No, it's because you may not have heard that, but he actually said something quite rude to Mark Myers, so he's just gone in.
I didn't hear anything, but the match is over.
You have to listen quite closely. There they are, the tiny girls, very popular with the crowd, and you can see why.
It's a shame, really, that Too Far Gone aren't more popular with the crowd.
They've angered Mark Myers, though. The
match is over.
No, but they said they were abusing him after the match. They said some rude comments.
Steve, the match is over. These guys should be getting back to the locker room. They have their victory. They scored the 1, 2, 3 with the Sheffield Hammer, that awesome-looking finishing maneuver.
The Sheffield Hammer claims another victim as the Death Squad begin their assault on the tag team division. The Iron Duke and the Hammer Mark Myers have been beleaguering UWA chairman Mick McManus, demanding to know when they'll have the opportunity to wrestle for the tag team titles. So far, UWA officials have been keeping their cards close to their chests. We will, of course, keep you posted on all new developments. Lots more still to come as Paul Sloan faces Wonder Kid Johnny Storm, but up next it's Japanese sensation Tiger Mask in search of championship gold. Welcome back to UWA Rampage as we head into a championship match with a distinctly international flavour. Japan has produced some of the most exciting wrestlers the world has ever seen, and Tiger Mask 4 from Michinoku Pro Wrestling is no exception. He is the 4th athlete to wear the famed Hood of the Tiger and has had to prove himself worthy of such an honour through stiff competition. The original Tiger Mask had an outstanding series of matches with the UK's very own Dynamite Kid, and today's match between the current Tiger and Jason Cross should be a great contest in that noble tradition. Jason Cross has toured extensively in Europe and America and is looking forward to visiting Japan. It is this international experience that has led to him being given a shot at the vacant Michinoku Pro Wrestling British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight title. The belt was declared vacant after the previous champion was stripped of the title for failing to defend it within the allotted 60-day time limit. Obviously, Tiger Mask is keen to bring the belt back to Japan, where it originated and where it was once held by the legendary Great Sasuke. Earlier today, Tiger Mask had this to say. Tiger Mask there with a message for Jason Cross, the gist of which is undoubtedly that Cross is in for a hell of a match. This contest will be fought under Japanese rules and is officiated by Michinoku Pro's referee Ted Tanabe as we take you back down to ringside.
Well, here we have a first for the UWA Wrestling Rampage show. It's a title match, and one of the competitors in it is this man here, Jason Cross, a fellow Celt, and he's going to be going out to get that title tonight. Steve, what do you think?
Well, Ross, you can see there, he's certainly popular with the crowd, and the hopes of the nation are pinned on his shoulders. Is he up to it against Tiger Mask?
Well, I think he's up to it. Many people may not think that. They may see Jason Cross as an underdog, but he's toured extensively in North America, he's toured extensively in mainland Europe, and of course he's been working his way up the British circuit the past few years, and I think he can win this title tonight. I think he can keep the belt here in the UK, where I think it belongs.
Weighing in at 176 pounds, please welcome the man who delivers the Kick Tiger Suplex, Tiger Mask!
This man is a legend in the Far East. He's a great grappler. He has great technical abilities, great area abilities. Tiger Mask.
He looks like he's in panto.
I find that very disrespectful to this athlete, and an athlete he is. Many people say Japan is the place for wrestling. Along with the UK, they do produce some great athletes, and none better than this man here who's going to take on Jason Cross for the title being held by the great and respected official Ted Tanabe. This title is the British Commonwealth title, and it is from the Michinoku Pros promotions in Japan. Great people like the great Sasuke have held that title. And speaking of Michinoku Pro, next week on the show, we're going to see Gran Naniwa take on Kerry Cabrero, and what a matchup that should be. But talking of great matchups, we're about to see one take place right here in the center of the ring right now, Steve.
Well, how come Jason Cross doesn't get to wear a mask then?
It's a tradition in Japan that many wrestlers wear masks, but that just says nothing about their ability. Some of the best wrestlers on the planet wear masks. And look at that, what a maneuver.
Oh, Jason's really got to have his wits about him. I know he's getting carried away with the adrenaline of the crowd and the massive wave of support that is aimed in his direction, but he's really got to keep his wits about him.
Listen to the crowd. They are chanting UWA. They really appreciate this promotion. They really appreciate the athletes in the ring, Jason Cross and Tiger Mask. As we see now, Tiger Mask kip up. He comes off the ropes, gets taken down, a cover by Jason Cross, doesn't get a count there, another cover by Tiger Mask, gets a 1 count, and what a confrontation we're having. A great match, and possibly one of the best matches we'll see this year.
As you say, Ross, this match is carried out under Japanese rules, but there really aren't that great deal of differences between the two, English and British, I should say, and Japanese. There's not that
many great differences. The primary difference is that when you go outside the ring, you have a 20 count before you are counted out, as opposed to British rules where you have a 10 count. And we see Jason Cross there hitting a big handspring elbow.
Oh, that would have messed up his mask.
And the fans yet again appreciate this wrestling by chanting the UWA. UWA, it rings round this building. Jason Cross sends Tiger Mask into the corner, but it's reversed. And what do we have here? A big backdrop by Tiger Mask. And a drop kick sends Jason Cross to the outside. I think we're going to see something special here. A big tope. A big tope. That's a dive through the ropes.
Well, that's knocked Jason for 6 there. I think we can almost see the stars spinning above his head there. Come on, Jason, you need to get back in there, son.
Now, Steve, do you appreciate this wrestler's ability?
I just wonder if those masks are available to buy in the auditorium.
I'm sure if they were, then many fans would purchase them. Jason Cross off the ropes and gets caught with a double axe handle. Now Tiger Mask ascends to the top rope. He's standing on the top turnbuckle and has a high flying crossbody.
Oh,
look
Jason,
at the elevation he got.
Walked into that one.
Just a 2 count, though. Just a 2 count.
Oh, very, very close there.
Tiger
Jason,
Mask
he almost
ascends.
seemed to walk into that one. He's got to be careful.
Tiger Mask ascends yet again, but gets caught by Jason Cross.
Well, we won't see the tears on his face because of that, because of the mask, obviously.
Jason Cross going up to the top rope. What's he going for here? Is it a suplex or whoa, I'm not... Oh my God! A great Frankensteiner there by Jason Cross. Downs Tiger Mask, and he's quick to go to the outside for a breather. A Toby go.
Oh, Jason's got a taste for it now.
Jason now has the advantage. You know, that was some great action. Let's have another look, Steve.
Some wonderful moves there, starting off with this one.
That's a tope, and then the Frankensteiner. And there we have the tope con hilo. The tope con hilo translates roughly as a flip dive off the ring apron. It was originated in Mexico, and that's the Spanish name for it. Some European uppercuts there by Jason Cross. Trademark moves of the Europeans.
That's right, Tiger Mask there. A bit dazed because of that. And now Jason really needs to capitalize on that work.
and capitalise he hasn't managed to do, but maybe he has, as he sets up. This is one of his trademark manoeuvres. A trademark manoeuvre, gets a 1, gets a 2.
Ooh,
known as a Northern Lights suplex.
Very, very unlucky there, Jason. But Ross, as you said earlier, a lot of people view Jason Cross as the underdog before this match, and there's no reason why he shouldn't walk away with victory.
There's no reason at all, and if he hits this manoeuvre, I'm sure it'll be all over, but he missed the moonsault. It was a high-risk manoeuvre, and unfortunately, this time it didn't pay off. A spin kick there by Tiger Mask, who sets up Jason Cross, and this time heads to the top rope himself. But he must have caught Jason Cross moving up out of the way as he landed on his feet there. Jason Cross.
Go on, Jason!
Big power bomb for the 1,
yes,
for the 2, for the 2 and 3/4.
He was so close there.
Jason Cross off the top rope and gets caught in the abdomen areas by a drop kick.
So hard, Ross. He's worked so hard during this fight.
You've got a feel for Jason Cross. He's put in a great effort. Tiger Mask now heading to the top rope. He's on the top rope. What says a great moonsault? It's the 3rd time lucky in the match, and he scores the 1, the 2, and the 3 for the pinfall victory, Steve.
Well, I've got a feel for Jason. First of all, having someone that size and wearing that sort of mask fall down on you mustn't have been nice, but Jason worked so hard. He put 101% of effort into this fight, and he certainly didn't disappoint.
But he didn't disappoint, and neither did Tiger Mask. Now do you respect Tiger Mask?
I respect him, and I love the mask. I'll tell you what, though, the finish was superb. Let's take another look at that.
There's that awesome-looking moonsault. Comes crashing down on the chest of Jason Cross.
So, Tiger Mask returns to Japan as the new MPW British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight Champion. Next week, we'll see Michinoku Pro stablemate Gran Nanua take on the hardest-working athlete in Britain today, Kerry Cabrero. Here's what Nanua had to say about their forthcoming match.
I introduce you to the strongest Japanese young wrestler, Gran Nanua. Here we go. I'm the strongest, not only in Japan, but the strongest in the world.
We'll see how Kerry Cabrero counters Nanua's deadly offense right here next week. And in the weeks to come, we'll see 10 of the UWA's finest compete for the very first UWA title, the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance Television Championship. 10 men have been entered into this unique winner-stays-on gauntlet match, and their names were released by Mick McManus earlier on. They are Phil Powers, the anarchist Doug Williams, Paul Sloan, Johnny Storm, Mad Dog McPhee, Kerry Cabrero, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, Big Papa T, Danny Royal, and Hot Stuff Stevie Knight. The athletes will be assigned a number in a random draw. The first 2 will enter the ring, and from that point on, it's winner stays on, with elimination being by pinfall or by being thrown over the top rope. The Fallen Angel from the United States is the only non-British athlete to have been entered into the tournament, and it is understood that a place in the title tournament was a condition of his signing to compete in the UWA. We'll see him in action next week against 100% British beef, Danny Royal. Back to tonight, and coming up, we'll see the power of Paul Sloan against the aerial antics of Johnny Storm. Earlier on, we saw Phil Powers victorious over Mad Dog McPhee, defeating the crazed canine with a simple yet effective pinning combination. How well has Paul Sloan learnt from his mentor? We'll find out after the break. And up next, get ready for the man in the mask. Welcome back. The Rampage rolls on, and up next, one of the most bizarre athletes in the UWA. He's an amateur wrestling champion, an ex-commando, and former bodyguard to the President of Congo. He's Big Papa T, and he's the athlete that UWA officials have the most difficulty in finding opponents for.
Weighing in at an earth-trembling 330 pounds, he is Le Roi Lion, Big Papa T.
And it goes a little something like this.
Well, look at the size of him, Steve.
Oh, well, I'm too busy looking at the lovely Rebecca at the moment, to be honest. Ross, and the crowd certainly love her as well. And here he comes. There he is, the masked man, doing his little wiggle there, shaking his fang, and we're going to see some magic works in that ring tonight. Mark Sloan, literally a sacrificial lamb.
Well, if any match in the UWA so far could be compared to a David and Goliath battle, it has to be this one.
Sloan looks terrified, and so he should be. Look at the T there.
This
Absolutely
is a big man. He has got a great amateur background as well. He was actually banned from amateur wrestling in this country, but he originally hails from the Congo. He was a former bodyguard for the president and a former executioner. That man there in the ring has killed people.
Well, it doesn't bode well for Mark Sloan then, does it?
But I'm sure Mark Sloan will be wanting to try his very best tonight. And upsets do happen in this wrestling business, Steve. Upsets do happen.
Well, I'm willing to bet any amount of money that you can name, Ross, that there's only one man who's going to walk away with victory here, and it's that man there, doing the wiggle, the Papa T walk.
And arrogance as well.
It's not arrogance, it's a style about the man. There's a grace about him, you know, maybe that's something that the lovely Rebecca has tutored with
More
him.
power
Look at that, look at
demonstrated
that. Is that
there.
man not stylish?
And sometimes you may think, you know, can this man be focused to the task ahead of him? Well, if he can't do it on his own, he has Rebecca to help out. And a great athletic maneuver there by Mark Sloan as he kips back up to his feet.
Well, you mentioned Rebecca there earlier, Ross. Apparently, Papa T and Rebecca do share the same liking for leather masks, so that's nice. Ever thought about a leather mask, Ross?
Well, maybe I could borrow yours, Steve, as Mark Sloan's offense seems to have no effect on the gargantuan Big Papa T. Papa T whips Mark Sloan off the ropes and devastating force those maneuvers have, devastating force. And he goes for a submission move now. That's a Texas Cloverleaf. Steve, what do you think of that?
Well, it's effective, and I can tell you one thing, Papa T's not going to move. He's won the match, and he doesn't want to get off Mark Sloan. No, you can have a job shifting him. In the end, he goes.
But that was through his own choice. That was only through his own choice. The referee takes a knock there.
No, he just slipped. That was there was nothing there, nothing untoward there. He just slipped. Papa T, he's done the business, gone in there, got the victory, waddling around now. Lovely, great to see it. An entertainer, the crowd love it. Rebecca there alongside him. That's the sort of thing we need to see more of. A great entertainer like that and a crowd pleaser. Something kids love. Look at them all there. They love Papa T, they love Rebecca. He's a great advertisement for the sport of wrestling, Ross.
And there we have the officials down at ringside encouraging Rebecca and Big Papa T back to the locker room.
It seems to have taken UWA officials as long to regain control of the situation as it did for Big Papa T to win his match. The action continues, however, as we head towards the moment of truth for Paul Sloan. He's been training rigorously with Phil Powers, but when he steps into the ring against Johnny Storm, he'll be all by himself. As we head back to ringside, let's check in with Jamila, who's standing by with Phil Powers.
Hi, I've got with me Phil Powers tonight. Hi, Phil.
How you doing, all right?
I'm very good, thanks. Fantastic match against Mad Dog tonight.
Well, I went out there, I gave him my best, I come up on top, I beat him, that's what I plan to do, and you're going to see a hell of a lot more of that in the future.
You trained Paul Sloan, are you going to be ringside for him tonight?
I'm not going to be at ringside, no, because Paul Sloan's a tough cookie, he doesn't need his mentor at ringside, but all I've got to say is I wish Paul Sloan 100% the best of luck. He doesn't need me at ringside, he's a tough guy. He's going to do it, he's going to do it.
Excellent, thanks a lot.
Fighting out of Dagenham in the south of England and weighing a train-stopping 225 pounds, ready or not, here's Paul Sloan.
This is one of the things I think is great about the UWA, is the youth development. And here's one of these men here, Paul Sloan, in only his third professional match.
Well, he's got an unfair advantage, though, over his competitors because of the bald head. So the light's reflected off it, and he's blinding his competitors. I think he should be made to grow some hair.
Well, I think his actual in-ring ability is going to give him more of an advantage than his shaved head.
Well, you may say that, Ross, but we'll wait and see.
And the fans do appreciate this man here. You can hear the ovation they're giving him. They do appreciate the effort and the training that all these young wrestlers put in.
Well, he's lapping it up there, but I think the real star is yet to come, Ross.
Weighing in at 175 pounds, the man with the thunderbolt, Johnny Storm.
Will lightning strike here tonight for Johnny Storm, another great youngster in the UWA. And you know, earlier this evening, I saw that man there speaking to Steve Linsky. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Can you shed any light on the subject, Steve?
Well, I have no more information than what you already know, actually, Ross, but what I can tell you is if Johnny Storm is signing up with Steve Linsky, it will be to the benefit of his career.
I'm not sure if I agree with that, but look at the arrogance there shown by Johnny Storm. The fans are cheering him, but he doesn't want any of it. He thinks he doesn't need it. So
he's got a rapport. That's a natural rapport with the crowd.
Johnny Storm hits the ring. And oh, look at the power in Paul Sloan's arms as he uses a gorilla press there. And a great big clothesline sends Johnny Storm crashing to the outside. Steve.
Now, Paul Sloan's got a few lucky ones in early doors, but Johnny Storm knows what he's doing. It's all part of a larger game plan.
Well, a larger game plan it may be, but he's got to get back inside the ring if he wants to win this match, because on the outside, he can't win it. He can only be counted out.
Look at that, he knows what he's doing there. He's just psyching him up. And here comes the man himself, Steve Linsky, accompanied by Mad Dog.
Steve Linsky has no part in being out there, but what a great double leg takedown by Paul Sloan as he goes for the cover, gets a one, gets a... Mad Dog broke the count, Steve. That is illegal.
Seeing things. In your old age, your eyesight's playing tricks with you, Ross. I can tell you that he had nothing to do with it. Mad Dog's just there, offering encouragement, as is Steve Linsky.
This is disgusting. They should not be there, and they should not be interfering in the match as Johnny Storm stands on the top rope. What's he going for here? He misses a frog splash as Paul Sloan moves out of the way, and he has a disrespectful slap in the face.
Well, let me tell you, it's going to take more than that to outdo Johnny Storm. Even this barrage of punches aren't enough.
Whoa! No! Wait, what's going on here? No.
Mad Dog,
that cannot be right.
Him a drink.
Johnny Storm has won the match.
Mad Dog offered him a drink. That was all that was. He wasn't interfering.
That is unfair. That is illegal. That is against the rules. I can only presume that Steve Linsky doing this to Paul Sloan is something to do with Paul Sloan being Phil Powers' protege, and this is disgusting.
Mad Dog was not interfering. He was there to offer his support. Now he's interfering because of the things that Paul Sloan is saying about Mad Dog.
Paul Sloan doesn't appear to be saying anything.
Even Steve Linsky. Go on, Steve.
That's just wrong. There's no two ways about it. Look here, Phil Powers hits
What's he doing? What's he doing? Get that man out
Phil
of there!
sends Johnny Storm crashing to the outside, and Mad Dog isn't too far behind.
Now that is a disgrace!
That's no less than they deserve.
That is a disgrace!
What a great flying maneuver by Flying Phil Powers. He had a huge plancha there, taking out both men, and now he takes it to Mad Dog.
Bully boy tactics, Ross, that's all that is.
2-on-1 as the officials try to break it up. They're trying to break this thing up. This is an unscheduled matchup. The match is over. The match was between Paul Sloan and Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm won the match.
Well, this is how the match was won and lost. Have a drink on me.
You know, I think this could just be the beginning of a war brewing here. You know, let's have a look at this great dive by Phil Powers. A great plancha over the top rope. Look at the elevation he gets. A tremendous match followed by tremendous action.
A controversial victory for Johnny Storm, and who knows what the Linsky mob might have done to a helpless Paul Sloan had Flying Phil Powers not been watching his friends back. Certainly is a volatile situation. Next week, we'll see Hot Stuff Stevie Knight. He's set to face the anarchist Doug Williams. Danny Royal takes on the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. And Grand Nanawa is set for an explosive encounter with Kerry Cabrera. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. But before we go, let's go once again to Jamila, who has an announcement from Mick McManus about the scenes we just witnessed involving Phil Powers, Paul Sloan, Mad Dog McPhee and Johnny Storm. I'll see you next week. But for now, over to Jamila.
Quite a situation we've got going at the moment, Mick.
Well, not really. We can resolve it, have a tag match, and we'll have it right here next week.